Hello. This video is a video about how the deck is racialized and why that is. So the first thing I'd like to say is in my search for the right deck, as I started collecting the decks that I collected, I noticed that there aren't many representations of brown people in the tarot, which was something that I noticed, and I collected a couple of the decks that do have brown people, but even those representations felt a little bit not quite exactly how I understood, or how they're fine, but they weren't what I was looking for. One of the things that you will notice is that my deck is biracial, and a part of the reason for that is because I'm of mixed ethnicity. My world is of mixed ethnicity. My family is of mixed ethnicity. And the energies, as I studied them, as I encountered them and continue to encounter them, feel racialized in a way. There are, in my study of human behavior, of culture, of people, of energy, I noticed that certain energies are represented by certain groups of people more grossly. The archetypes, the archetype of the mother is not the same when I think of the black mother versus the white mother. There is the archetype, the general archetype of the mother, and then there's the archetype of the black mother or the white mother or the African mother. And they're going to be a bit different when we look at those. My experience of the tarot and what I was understanding in the tarot was that the archetypes were more specific than general, like the Empress felt like the black mother. She felt like she carried this wisdom of the black grandmother. Not to say that the white mother isn't nurturing or isn't fertile and isn't beautiful, but there's something about the energy of the Empress that felt connected to this black mother, this black woman. And each of the cards came out in that way, like, okay, this energy, is it talking about just a mother, or is it talking about a white mother, or is it talking about is it general, or is it more specific? Is it like, is there a particular piece of information in here that we might miss if she was represented as a white woman? or if she was represented as a black woman. That's not to say that these energies only manifest within the black mother or only manifest within the white mother, but in a gross representation, you will see certain traits in a white mother versus a black mother. That stuff is hugely passed down through the generations. You know, ancestors are like, it's embedded in us from our ancestors, from cultures of antiquity that are passed and reinforced and genetically passed and behaviorally passed and reinforced through generations and generations of living and breathing and being. So that's one of the things that you'll notice about my deck. And each of them, as I was learning about the cards, as the cards were coming through me, they were speaking to me in these ways. Like the Emperor, he went through very different manifestations. The first iteration of him was like, yeah, not quite, right? It didn't really bring out this energy of this wisdom of clear sight and, you know, water. And it didn't bring out this, the precision that by the end of his development that I felt when interacting with the picture, the card, the energy. And like I'm saying, many of the cards went through that and had to kind of tell me, okay, no, hold on, I am a black man, or I am a white woman, or I am, they kind of had to tell me that. And so I responded to that and tried to really hear, okay, what's, you know, sometimes it would be like, okay, yeah, no, this is not quite right. What do I have to change? Sometimes I had to scratch the whole thing and start fresh from the beginning and really try and hear, okay, reading different books and trying to relate to these energies that manifest in order to get to the root of, okay, what is this card? Who is this card? How is this card best represented in a gross way, right? Because of course, each individual person is different, and yet we carry these traits that I would say can be generalized in this archetypal way. So as you go through the deck, you will notice that the different cards are represented by different people for these reasons. These energies, when I was learning about them, I felt the energy of, you know, like the karma move and the great white father, and how cultural that is, that move is. And even though here in the United States we have the melting pot, and so we're trying to erase a lot of that ancestral knowledge and wisdom, we still kind of carry some of that stuff, right? Like when the white man comes into the room and takes over the room, people often call that, you know, white privilege. I don't like that term. I think it's more narcissism than privilege. But it's a certain energy, and I'm not going to say that it's like good or bad energy. I'm going to say it's an energy. Sometimes it's constructive and sometimes it's destructive. Sometimes when the energy seems destructive, it's actually down the road we see why it was important to have, you know, the room wiped out or the conversation cut short. And so it's that I was trying to I guess, capture or express, or was trying to be expressed through these cards. Another thing that you'll notice, the energies, when I talk about them like either upright or reversed, sometimes the upright position, and in most cases the upright position, is the wisdom aspect of the energy. But sometimes the upright position is actually the neurotic quality of this energy. So when the energy is kind of frozen or stuck or not in its most brilliant state. And one of the cards that comes to mind is the Devil. When it's upright, it's actually in its neurotic state. It's actually not quite talking about the wisdom of that energy. And so sometimes I'll talk about the neurosis or the wisdom of an energy, and I'm talking really about when the energy is in its, when it's in its wisdom, it's in its clarity, in its integrity, in its, it's not acting out of fear or hurt, or it's just coming with its pure intention, right? Like with just the pure wisdom of it. When it's in its neurotic state, oftentimes that comes out of some place of hurt or some place of being shut down, being constricted. And so, yeah, you'll see that throughout the book, I speak about the energies in that way. I think that's it for now. I will put another video up. I'll start talking about the individual cards. Yeah, I'm thinking, is there anything else I want to share before I go? And I don't think so. I think we're good here. And I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.